sure you've had some amazing stories from some of your clients.
You want fun ones, bad ones, weird ones? What do you want? I got them all.
Let's do a good one and then a weird one. Why don't we talk about that? Because everybody loves stories.
Good one. I saved a lady from getting catfished one time.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So she wanted to sell her house. I find out why. She's moving from a nice house that's paid off into independent care.
Yep.
And she needed to unlock that money to send it to her boyfriend in Africa, who was working on a $500 million deal, but he just needed $85,000 to unlock some permit to get the $500 million so he could come back home and live with his princess forever. And I'm like, I don't think so. And the more I asked her, and it's so sad. It's like, it kind of haunts me to this day. I go to pick her up to take her to closing, and I keep asking her, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And she goes, I just don't want to be alone. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? There's a lot of, I have a very jovial personality, if you can't tell, but I try to be happy in everything I do. And we're dealing with life and death matters and sad things. And like, there's crazy stats in senior living that just blow your mind. Like 60% of people living in senior living don't have a visitor. So think about that. We got families and kids and life, and we complain about how busy we are, and then one day no one ever comes to see you again. More than what? Life is short. You got to enjoy it, and I love my job because I have always loved real estate, and now I get the joy of helping these families too with this burden. You talked about the kids and the shag carpet and all this. A lot of the times, the burden falls on one of the kids that's still in the hometown. Mm-hmm. Other kids live 400 miles away. So they all think that the sister who's in town that's saying mom's deteriorating is crazy. Oh, you're crazy. That's in your head. It's not as bad as you think. But that kid, when I say kid, she's 60s. But the kid here is dealing with mom and taking her to the appointments, right? That burden, it's a very emotional time for families. And that's why I'm talking about this. I want to work with the best of the best, right? The people that would rather lose a deal to save face than to try to get one over on somebody. That's not it at all. This is more put people first and do the right thing. In real estate, we already know that the houses that need the updating is that's our opportunity to add value, right? So that's what I'm doing.
Wow, I love that, man. That's a good thing. That was a great story there. What's another story you got?
A craziest one is a lady sold me a house that was worth $250,000 for $50,000, and I'll never forget, because this was like a nice house in great condition, and she goes, I need you to have a seat before we tell the story. And I'm usually asking them to take a seat, and she's like, I need you. So she goes through the whole thing, and long story short, her husband did something really bad, and the FBI came after him. He fled the country for years. And listen, and she was rich, right? She was rich. Here's a crazy thing. She spent millions of dollars that they had over those years. When they finally caught him in the divorce, now she owed him half of that money, even though he was gone on the run. And it gets better. I'm not even close to done to that story. From prison, he took the house out of her name and put it back into a trust name that he had. So when you're in prison, you have plenty of time on your hands, right? So he got the county convinced that it should go through the deed, or the quick claim deed, right? And he got it put into his name. So then she had to fight with lawyers to get her house back from, in essence, herself. We had one where a lady signed as a wife, and it was really his worker. It was a mobile closing, and we go to clean out the house, and the wife shows up. The husband never told the wife what was happening. That one took a couple, we're dealing with humans, right? I've got to go. I'm going to think of the right way to say this. 2 sisters, the brother passed away. He had a 3-bedroom house, a master bedroom, an adult movie room, and a prayer room. The sisters said, we're not going back in there again, just make us an offer.
My God.
It's humans. We're dealing with humans, right?
Takes all types to make the world go around, doesn't it?
I don't know. I like it. If everything was normal, I wouldn't like it as much. That's the fun part. You're unlocking I always like to say I'm a puzzle piece. I either fit in really easy or I don't, and either way.